Welcome back, everyone, to another explainer. I am absolutely thrilled about what we've got lined up for you today. Just think for a second about the artificial intelligence we all use right now. I mean, the AI we know today is undeniably brilliant, right? It can draft essays, write complex code, and answer these incredibly tough questions in literally seconds. But fundamentally, well, it's kind of stuck in a box. It just sits there waiting for you to tell it exactly what to do. Today, we're breaking it out of that box. We are going on a fascinating journey into the world of autonomous agents. We're talking about a massive shift, moving from machines that just predict the next word to machines that actually take action out in the real world on your behalf. It is a real game changer. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the standard AI brain. Second, we're introducing the AI agent. Third, we'll go inside the planning loop. And fourth, we'll wrap up with the travel planner test. All right, let's get right into it with Section 1, the standard AI brain. So we need to set the stage here with a fast, clear look at the tech that's been absolutely dominating the headlines for the last couple of years. Because, while it's incredibly fast, it's also entirely reactive. At its core, traditional generative AI, like your standard large language models, is basically just a prediction engine. It takes an input, your prompt, and it predicts the best possible output based on the massive data set it was trained on. It processes data, recognizes patterns, and spits out a response in one single go. And here is the really vital part to understand. It doesn't think ahead. It literally doesn't double-check its work unless you specifically prompt it to do so. In the industry, we call this being stateless and reactive. It lives entirely in the isolated moment of your current prompt. The second it finishes answering you, boom, it just goes back to sleep. Think of standard AI like a brilliant encyclopedia. If you think about it, an encyclopedia holds an incredible vast amount of human knowledge. You can ask it almost anything, and it instantly gives you a comprehensive, beautifully written answer. But an encyclopedia just sits on the shelf. It has absolutely zero agency. It's never going to autonomously decide to go out to the store and buy another book for you to read. It will never book a flight for you. It relies entirely on your constant manual input to have any utility at all. Moving right along, let's hit Section 2, introducing the AI agent. If standard AI is that brilliant but totally passive encyclopedia, the AI agent is the active software built around that brain to finally give it hands, feet, and agency. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast here. Standard AI is passive, it's reactive, and it's isolated. But an AI agent, it's active, autonomous, and connected. An AI agent is basically a system that uses an AI model as its core brain, sure, but it wraps it in software that allows it to actually plan, to use tools, to make real decisions, and to act autonomously to achieve a specific goal. It essentially bridges the gap between just knowing things and actually doing things. Let's break this down even further. When we look at nature here, standard AI is just a model, like GPT-4 or Gemini. But an agent is a complete system powered by that model. Under action, we're making that massive leap from passive to active. Under tools, wow, this is huge. Standard AI is totally isolated, but an agent is connected. It can use APIs, it can browse the live web, it can even send emails on your behalf. And finally, execution. Standard AI is single turn. You ask, it answers, it stops. An agent is multi-turn. It just keeps working, step after step, until the job is actually done. So if standard AI is the encyclopedia, you can think of the AI agent as your own personal assistant. With a personal assistant, you aren't just asking for raw facts or information. You give them a goal. You say, hey, book me the cheapest flight to Paris next Tuesday. The agent then independently goes out, researches the options, compares prices across a bunch of different airline tabs, uses a web browser tool, and actually completes the checkout process for you. It takes a high-level goal and just turns it into completed reality. It's wild. Which brings us to the core of everything today. Section 3, inside the planning loop. Now we're getting into that deliberate, cyclical cadence that makes all this magic work. This is the absolute core of today's explainer, which naturally leads us to the biggest question. How on earth does it actually do that? So how does an agent actually think? When we say it breaks out of the single prompt limitation, what are the actual mechanics of that? Well, it's not magic, guys. It's a highly structured sequence of software operations. Instead of just answering a prompt and stopping cold, an agent enters a continuous, flowing state of evaluation and execution. So the crucial point is this 4-step loop right here. Let's walk through it together because this is vital. Step 1, perceive. The agent looks at its current environment. Maybe it's reading the HTML of a flight booking website. Step 2, plan. It decides what needs to happen next to get closer to the goal. Okay, I need to click the search button. Step 3, Tool use. It selects the right tool from its connected arsenal, like a virtual mouse or maybe a web scraper. Step 4, act. It executes the tool, physically clicking the search button. But, and this is the kicker, it doesn't stop there. Once it acts, the environment changes, right? A new page loads. So the loop starts all over again at step 1. Perceive the new screen, plan the next click, use the tool, act. Over and over and over, until the goal is achieved. And this brings us to the absolute true superpower of the planning loop, the power to self-correct. Because the agent is constantly looping back to that perceive stage we just talked about, it can actually tell if something went wrong. Let's say in step 4, the agent tries to click a button to book a flight, but the website throws an error saying the flight is sold out. A standard AI, it would just fail, throw up an error code, and stop. But the agent loops back. It perceives the error message. It updates its plan on the fly. It decides to use its tools to search for the next cheapest flight and acts on that totally new plan. It self-corrects and tries a different approach until your goal is finally met. It's relentless. Let's see how this plays out in the real world. Section 4, the travel planner test. Let's put the standard model and the active agent head-to-head in a totally relatable showdown to see how this brilliantly illustrates these concepts. First, let's look at the standard AI scenario. You prompt it, hey, plan a 3-day trip to Tokyo for me. What happens? Well, it instantly generates a beautifully formatted 3-day itinerary list. It tells you to visit the Meiji Shrine, then go grab some sushi in Shibuya, then visit a museum. It's incredibly helpful, it's fast, and honestly, it sounds great. But at the end of the day, it is entirely passive text on a screen. You still have to go do all the actual work to make that trip happen. But what happens if you give that exact same prompt to an agent? Oh, it's a totally different ballgame. Instead of just writing a list, the agent enters its perceive, plan, act loop. First, it uses a weather API to check the live forecast, realizing, oh, it's going to rain on day 2, so it proactively moves the indoor museum visit to that rainy day. Next, it actively searches for sushi spots near your specific hotel, checks their live operating hours to make sure they're actually open, and then, using a reservation API, it securely books the table for you. Finally, it navigates the airline website and actually books your tickets. It executes the whole shebang, the entire multi-tool process from start to finish. And that leaves us with a final, incredibly exciting question to chew on. What happens when we stop asking machines questions and start delegating our tasks entirely? This leap from simple prediction to actual real-world action is going to fundamentally change how we interact with technology. We're rapidly moving from a world of passive software to a world of autonomous partners. Thank you so much for joining me as we explored this amazing topic today. I really hope these concepts help structure this massive paradigm shift for you. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.